Well, welcome to the Tre Stewart program.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us again. We've got a special guest, Brian Day. Oh, is that what's your name now?
Torresdey.
Torres.
Yeah, I used to
Torresdey.
I kind of did like the stage name at the beginning.
Yeah, why'd you drop that? You were like,
Well, so like my whole family's last name is Torresdey.
yeah,
Right? So it's like it's the very Latin sound. But
right.
when I got to LA, like I had a manager, or it was like some 2-bit acting manager was like, you need to like drop it and make it sound a little bit more concise. So I was like,
really?
Did the day. And then I was like, wait a minute. I went and then I dropped that manager, and then I went with an agent, and the agent's like, so like, what's your legal name? It says it's Torresdey. So what are you doing? Why are you chopping on? I was like, well, I was told to do that. She was like, no, this isn't like 1975. What the fuck? Like,
yeah. What were
it
you
actually
gonna say?
helps to be diverse now. So
It's literally whoever that was retarded. That's like the
Oh, yeah.
dumbest thing ever, because it does help. If anything, you got to lean into that now.
oh, dude,
right?
that's
That makes perfect.
I wouldn't
sense.
have had anything happen in my life.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I guess Jon Stewart, they do, a lot of people do that.
Well,
They're
that
like,
was a big thing, right? And then
Yeah.
they like Carlos Mencia was told like his name was like Ned or something, and like
Oh,
Mitzi
yeah.
Shore told him to like change it to make it sound way more Latin, and then that blew up in his face. But I feel that was a common thing back in the day, where it's
Yeah.
like if your name had like extra syllables,
yeah,
they would just be like chop it down,
right. It's too but now in this, I think the more world where your identity matters and it kind of matters the most, I feel like, yeah, you got to play into that.
Well, like white guys don't even do it anymore, like Zach Galifianakis or like
Yeah.
Jesselneck, or you know what I mean? Like
For sure.
back in the day, they would have been like Anthony James or something like that.
Yeah, if you're
like,
going to change any name, it would be Galifianakis.
yeah, I know. So
But he hung in there, and shout out to him. But yeah, man. And so I'm glad that you're here, because
Me too,
you
dude.
are Mexican.
yes,
And you're a good friend of mine. And
Well,
Joe, I forgot to tell Joe I was having a Mexican on the pod. You all right? You okay with
I
this?
recently got hired by ICE, so this is awkward.
I can see it. He's
This is
sweating
so
right
awkward.
now.
I don't know what to do.
This is
like
actually
a-
ice. This is surprise
This
ice.
is like the ice version of To Catch a Predator. It's like, have a seat. Let's start a podcast.
Have a seat, yeah. So tell us something. Where are your papers?
Well,
You know?
dude, it's kind of crazy because a lot of Mexicans voted for Trump, so I don't think you should
know.
be surprised about the ICE thing.
I know. And so that actually brings us to I think the first topic. I want to talk about Donald Trump, because it's a
Yes.
lot of it's a scary time in America right now if you're undocumented, and Trump is going crazy. He's
As it
signing
should
a
be.
lot of yeah, of course. If you break the law, you got to go to jail,
Too many
and
Venezuelans.
Of course, yeah, get them back. Go back to your country, you know what I mean? They're not sending their best. But
No.
I feel like, with these executive orders, right? Like a lot of stuff is happening, and I think Trump is setting a dangerous precedent of following through with your promises.
Dude,
Like, you can't. No one's ever done this before. Well, no other politician has gotten to president and given people what they wanted for.
No.
Or what they voted for.
and you know what's awesome is he's doing it at such a speed that like the media can't even react to it anymore. Like one day they're like, he just cut 15,000 programs, and like, how are kids gonna get lunch? And then the very next day they're like, he's taking over Greenland. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
he's
it's
buying.
amazing,
All over the
dude.
place.
Well,
Yeah.
that's another thing too. Trump is a businessman,
Yeah.
So he's buying. He wants to buy Greenland. He wants to buy Gaza, and it's like, you can't say free Gaza to a businessman, because he
So
knows
what
a good
he wants to
deal.
build a resort.
Yeah, he said
Dude,
this.
how haunted is that place going to be? Could you imagine?
Oh my god, yeah, just to buy. I will, but isn't every resort?
I don't
built
think they
kinda-
believe in ghosts, do they?
Over there? I hope
I don't
not.
know. Do Muslims believe in ghosts? I don't feel like they
I
do.
actually don't know. Yeah, this is. We don't want to spread.
I know Jews
misinformation.
don't, so I can't imagine Muslims don't.
Really interesting.
don't believe in
Okay.
ghosts?
Oh well,
No,
that's
they don't
why.
believe in ghosts. No, they
Mm.
don't.
Wow,
I mean, have you ever
okay.
been haunted by a Jewish ghost?
No, Muslims don't believe in ghosts.
Boo.
Spirits of dead. All right. Well, hey.
Oh, well, there you go. Never mind.
That's
See, I
pretty
told
cool.
you.
Yeah.
So technically, we can do it.
They don't
We
believe
have-
in ghosts, but they believe in
Thank
40
God.
virgins when you die. So wait a minute. They draw the line at ghosts, but they think that when you die, you get to have sex with 40 virgins. Yeah.
They get the virgins.
That's the silliest thing in the world. I mean, but don't shoot me. I love Muslims. Don't.
They don't believe in ghosts. They also don't
Yeah.
believe in
No,
landing
you don't.
planes.
They don't believe in landing planes. Yeah, if anything, we need some Muslims.
I mean, it kind of would be crazy to have like a Muslim version of The Shining, right?
Yeah.
They're like just bury a resort over. That might be the
Yeah.
next season of White Lotus. It's just a bunch of
Cosplay.
Muslim
Yeah.
ghosts. Yeah, just like disrupting Jennifer Coolidge.
Did
and
you
stuff.
say Muslims don't believe in landing planes?
Yeah, I did say that.
Neither
That
does
was a-
Boeing apparently.
No,
I
I
know,
know.
yeah.
That's why they have
Oh,
a Muslim
man.
CEO.
These
Wow.
planes are going down. So let me ask you this, because I think a lot of people that are criticizing Trump, for these executive orders and what he's doing, and we'll get into specifically what he's doing.
Oh,
but
yes.
a lot of the people that are criticizing him, I think it's coming from a jealous point, because again, these are people that were in government, had the ability to really make some change, and then didn't. Like Obama's people, his podcast. I don't know if you see this. Let's pull up the Pod Save Bros, because they're talking about. They have some thoughts with about Trump's executive orders. Like the first link, the Pod Save. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, let's listen to what their views are.
Messaging memos, and it's like, the young people, Gen Z, they like Doge and what Elon's doing, because they see government as sclerotic and inefficient, and they like the move fast and break things ethos, and they want to get stuff done, and they like the results. And it's like, yes, of course, we all want that. We all know that government is slow. We all know that government can be inefficient. We all know that the bureaucracy can be bloated. We all worked in the fucking White House. We tried to reorganize the government. We tried to find efficiency.
Oh.
It's hard to do.
And honestly, some of this is pretty annoying because it's some of the stuff we should have done.
Right, yeah,
like,
yeah.
you could do some of this.
No, you just got to talk Gen Z to him. You're like, I can
All
dig
right,
these
so there it
Doja
is.
Cats.
Yeah, that's great.
That's amazing. It's like, oh, we wanted to do this. Like, I'm mad because we should have done this. We should have got corruption out of the government. We should have done this. Why didn't you?
Well, dude, this is like a dream come true for me, because it's awesome to see, like, you know how like you've ever waited at the DMV, you're like, this really can't be the best way to do this shit in 2025. And now we're seeing they're like, no, they purposely kept this slow
Right.
for as long as possible, because it just makes it's easy for government workers. You're like, yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
extra workload, but if you work in the private sector,
Mhm.
right? Like, dude, you're giving whatever task you have to do it right away. And now it's like Trump said, he's like, I'm going to run the government like a business, and he's fucking doing it.
Yeah, he's doing it. People, Elon, they're sending emails like, tell me what you did last week. Give me 5 bullet points of what you did, which is, people are freaking out. They're like, 5? I haven't done shit in the last 20 years. I mean, I don't know if Elon actually has the power to do that, but I'm all for it. I love it. But I want to dig into some of his specific laws that he's done, like, because he's done over 70 executive orders so far, and which is kind of alarming. Just to name a few, declared that it's only 2 genders. Whoa.
Okay.
All right. Okay. That's
Like that.
it's a little yeah, it's a little radical. Another one is he's ending birthright citizenship.
I don't know about that one.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to be here if that's true.
Yeah, that's
You're
pretty
gonna change your. You
dangerous
gotta listen
one.
to that old agent's advice.
I definitely will, dude.
Change your name back to
Yeah.
Dave.
I'll just I'll
That's
just
so
I'm
funny.
gonna pull an Ariana Grande, just like bleach my skin and
Hey.
Oh,
dye it
wow.
Hope
blonde.
it works. Get big titties.
Yeah, you're gonna be well. So that's interesting. So that's kind of not good for you, huh?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be good for my oldest brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be gone, but I think I'm pretty safe now.
Okay. Right.
So like I've been with enough white women to get by. Like I think I can kind of sneak under.
They got
the
you.
radar.
Okay.
Yeah. I know the ways of the whites, and
Interesting. So, but that,
I do it.
So as that is an area of disagreement where it's like maybe you're going a little too far with because it's like we all agree on strong borders, and if you're a murderer, get out of here. I don't understand why.
Well, that's the funniest thing is like people like arguing for like criminals to not get deported,
Right.
which is like,
Yeah.
this is like my parents' generation was when you got here, like you kept the lowest profile, you just worked, you basically
You don't murder anybody.
yeah you don't
if you can help
murder
it.
anyone, you don't drive drunk, you don't
Right.
break into NFL players' homes and then create TikToks wearing their jerseys. Like,
That's
did
not
you
it.
see?
You just no.
No, did you see
Did
that?
you just make that
Dude,
up?
there was a Venezuelan gang. I didn't make this shit up. What was I think it was a guy who played for the Panthers or something. Dude, they watched when he was playing and they were like, oh, he plays on Sunday and everything, so he's not going to be home. They purposely went and broke into his
What?
home and stole like millions of dollars worth of jewelry, jerseys, everything. Look at this. Home
this it?
burglary. Yes.
What the
They
fuck?
did this to Travis Kelce.
Oh my God. The
Joe
burglars-
Burrow. Dude, and not only
Oh
they
my
did this to
God.
an NBA player too. Like these Venezuelan gangs were like, wait, these-
they're breaking into
yes.
houses.
Chilean burglars.
Oh my God.
There was a Chilean gang and a Venezuelan gang.
and they
and-
targeted star athletes over 3 months.
Bro, and then there shows police body cam footage where one of them is wearing the gear when he gets pulled over by a state trooper in Florida. He's literally wearing like Carolina Panthers gear.
Oh my God. And he's like,
And he's like rocking it. And then they post it on social media and everything. Everyone's like, wait a minute, how do you have Joe Burrow's like number platinum chain
he's like,
on
this
you?
is I got this from my grandma.
Yeah, no, these are my Super Bowl rings. What do you mean?
Exactly.
I played for the Panthers.
These are my size 14 cleats. You know what I
So
mean?
that's
Like,
a kind of
He's dressed in a full NFL. He's got the helmet
yeah,
on.
he's
Yeah.
got the full helmet on.
Driving
Oh.
a car.
That's what I mean. It's like,
So
dude,
there has to be a line between So
Uh.
if you come over here legally, you might not want to do dumb shit.
right.
You might not want to do dumb
we
shit.
basically so my dad's generation was like keep a low profile, just be nice, everything, and then now it's like a reality show. You're like, how much shit can I destroy before they send me back? You're almost teasing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
There was a TikTok influencer that I remember not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Of a guy telling immigrants how to squat.
Yes.
You remember that? Like he was famous for
Dude.
like on TikTok letting people know this is how you squat. You just go and find an empty mansion or whatever, and you just don't leave.
You find an empty house.
Yeah,
you-
in a democratic city.
Exactly. They were
Right,
doing
I
this
mean,
in
that's a
Queens,
big-
dude. When
yeah.
I was in New York, they were doing this.
Wow.
They were like Venezuelans were breaking into homes that they knew people were either renting out. So like you literally have a vacancy sign because you're trying to rent out your townhouse.
Yeah.
And they would go in and say, "Oh, this is obviously empty.
Oh my.
Break in."
Oh yeah. Let's look
Look
at
at
this. Oh my God.
Una casa en United States.
In his most recent controversial
sounds
TikTok
pissed.
video, Moreno is telling his followers to avoid living on the streets in the United States. They can, quote, invade empty homes and live there, saying under U.S. law, if a house is uninhabited,
Imagine
it
you're
can
just
be
walking your
seized,
dog and you see this guy
referring
yelling
to
into a
squatting
camera.
rights in our country.
Yeah,
that video
the homeowners
garnered
walking by,
almost
like, what's
4 billion
Tino's
views.
saying.
He's about to squat my house, isn't he? Son of a
He's
bitch.
teaching. So this is kind of. So that's kind of when it. And then hopefully this guy is famous. I think he needs a.
Dude,
I think he's
so this is-
replacing like
my dad's
Leno,
generation would come
or-
here. Yeah.
He's replacing Jimmy Fallon.
Well, my dad's generation, they would come here and build homes. These fuckers are coming here and stealing homes. There's a big difference.
There's a difference, right? So, but that's why going back to the Trump birthright citizenship. So he should kind of leave people alone if they're here. If you're here, you made it.
Criminal records.
criminal
to me,
record,
it's
that's a
like,
big one.
The criminal record is a telltale sign of what's your intention here in this country.
Right.
Like that video, you're like,
Yeah.
who is defending that guy? Like
They'd be
no Latinos
surprised.
are defending that.
No, it's just white people. It's just white women.
Do you even think like a
Yeah.
blue-haired, like Lena Dunham white woman
Would
is
defend
gonna
that?
look at that and be
Yeah,
like,
'cause
"Stay
she's crazy.
here. You should eat the rich." Is that like?
Well, yeah, but because they don't actually. I've never met Lena Dunham or them, but I've met enough women with blue hair to know that they like really believe that. They
It's
really are. It is a cult in that, or even if they don't believe it, they just say it. They regurgitate it. And
Most of
they're
those
not
women,
really-
though, let's be honest, because I think we've been in the same dating pools, you and I.
I've dabbled
Yeah.
in the white.
That's what I mean.
meat.
It's like most of the time, though. Let's be honest, they're just angry at their father.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So then that shapes their whole politics and their worldview to where they're arguing for a memorabilia stealing
Yeah,
Venezuelan to stay in the country.
Yeah, it's hard for people to defend it, but there are people that do that. But I wanna I wanna highlight a brave politician. If we go to the second email I sent you, the second link, because I want to highlight a brave politician who's not afraid to speak the truth about immigration. Let's play this, brave.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If
Easy with that hand
they've
motion.
been
Take it
working
easy.
and are law-abiding,
Yeah, that was
we
the
should
almost-
say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine
The
because you
Elon
came
wave.
here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn
Yeah,
English.
This
and
is
you have to
2008.
wait
This is 2008.
in
Yeah.
line.
So this is Hillary. So Brock, let me just say, bravo to Hillary Clinton for not being afraid to pander to your audience.
You know, she looks hot when she talks like that too.
Yeah, well, when she's telling the truth, when she speaks up, that's the thing.
She's not Monica Lewinsky hot, but she's pretty hot.
No, yeah, nobody. I mean, Monica, she's even hotter now. But let's not get off.
It's like, focus, gentlemen.
Yeah, let's focus on always distracted by a fat ass.
Yeah.
My goodness, I get why Bill Clinton was the first black president
For sure.
because
Definitely
he got
was.
caught up in the thickness. But they were all they were all on Trump's side of immigration. This is another interesting policy where you can go back not that far into in time and see people like Hillary and Bill and even Obama.
Well, Obama did it.
Exactly, he deported more people than anybody else.
Dude, Obama,
Yeah.
exactly. He was the
Deporter in chief. They called him
Exactly.
the deporter in chief, man.
get
This
him out
guy-
of yeah.
Yeah.
So Trump is basically just, even in Trump's first term, he didn't even deport nearly as many as Obama did in his first term.
No, yeah.
So it's like this whole notion, and that's why you see like these stupid like ICE protests.
Well, it's
Well-
silly because there's another thing too people are mad at where Trump is sending people to Guantanamo Bay, right? Like immigrants.
Yeah.
I think if can we play that? There's a clip that of what is this? No, it's another one about the clip. Maybe the one before that. Yeah, this.
This month, the first migrants were flown from the U.S. to Guantanamo Bay. President Trump and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem say that the detention camp there, an extremely expensive endeavor for an administration seeking to cut costs, would hold the worst of the worst: drug dealers, gang members, and those accused of committing violent crimes. But ABC News has spoken with the families of two migrants who say they're being held there despite not having a criminal record. Our Terry Moran has their story.
Son cosas encontradas que no es explicar. Llorar y no comer, no descansar.
Two families, their loved ones now being held in Guantanamo Bay after being deported by the Trump administration.
Sorry, don't come over here.
Salir para la calle, preguntar, ¿será verdad?
Both Jose
How is he on a
Simancas
Zoom
and
then?
Joan Bastidas Paz were on board a
He's
got a full
17
iPhone. He said
military
916.
transport plane
That was
heading to
1080p
the U.S.
quality.
prison
This
camp
guy's
at
lying,
Gitmo.
dude.
Yeah,
One of the
so
first flights in a mission.
let's just pause it right here. So people have been sent right to Guantanamo, and I guess the Lena Dunhams of the world, the woke people would be like, well, hey, just because they committed the crime of coming over here, that doesn't mean that we should torture them. I disagree. I say you come over here, that's the chances that you take. You might get a nice job picking some
But
strawberries,
also, yeah.
or you might get waterboarded.
This dude, yeah.
I mean, hey, they call them wetbacks.
it's one or the other. It's one or the other.
No.
Yeah, you got to take a roll of the dice, dude.
Well,
You
yeah,
can all-
it's a chance. Life is a chance.
Yeah,
I think
you-
that's what you're saying. Life is a chance, and you take that chance when you come over here. You're in search of a better America, and that's the roll of the dice. Now, let me just say this. If you're mad at Trump for Guantanamo, you should really be mad at Obama. Let's go to this clip of Obama. This is, I don't know if people remember this, but Obama actually had a strong stance on Guantanamo Bay. Let's listen to what his thoughts are. Not that long.
While we've
ago.
put al-Qaeda's core leadership on a path to defeat, the threat has evolved as al-Qaeda affiliates and other extremists take root in different parts of the world.
This
In
one
Yemen,
Biden before he passed away.
Somalia, Iraq,
He's still
Mali,
alive.
we have to keep working with partners to disrupt and disable those networks. America must move off a permanent war footing.
Well,
With the Afghan war ending, this needs to be the year Congress lifts the remaining restrictions on detainee transfers and we close the prison at Guantanamo Bay. Because we counter terrorism not just through intelligence and military actions, but by remaining true to our constitutional ideals
all right,
and
there
setting
it
an
is.
example for the rest of the world.
Close Guantanamo. You heard it from the man himself.
We're going to close it, right?
We're gonna shut it down. And then it never happened though. Oh, see, Obama had, I think, a lot of the blame. If you don't like Trump, I think a lot of the blame falls at Obama. It falls at his administration. Going back to the Pod Save Bros, they got a super majority. They were in it. They're
8 years. They got
8
years.
years, and there's a clip of them just like salivating at Trump. He's a dictator, but he's also just working within the confines of how it's supposed to be. If that's what that's what it looks like. if you want to actually get stuff done. And I think the Pate Bros and Obama administration, they did a really good job at pretending to be revolutionaries, but they were really just moderate people.
Well,
And
also, I think too, it's like a referendum. Like if I was like super left, right? I would have been mad. I'm like, why didn't we do more of this shit? Like kind of what they said, right? It's like, why didn't we do most of this shit when we had power with Joe Biden? Like, he betrayed everyone when he said, he was like, I'm going to forgive student loans. And the Supreme Court is like, that's not liable. And he could have signed an executive order to do it.
Right.
And he still didn't do it.
Yeah. Democrats are so used to pretending and posturing like they want to help people, but they always fall short in actually doing anything dramatic. I mean, Obamacare was even his biggest thing, but it was Mitt Romney care. It was a lot of flawed policies that I think it was big giveaways for pharmaceutical companies. It made the wrong people happy.
Well, dude, this also the other thing too with like the whole Biden issue is like they kept pretending like the immigration issue wasn't a problem.
Oh, yeah.
But then you go to New York.
Yeah.
Like I was in New York, dude.
Yeah.
And I had like I even saw like friends that I knew were like third generation Venezuelans being like, there's too many fucking Venezuelans, dude. Like they were getting tired of it.
They're stealing all the memorabilia.
Bro, then there was I don't even know if this made it to national news, but there was a government program that like gave these Venezuelans like scooters to get around. And then they started zipping around.
They're mobile.
Dude, there's a video online of a Venezuelan migrant on a scooter with their kid in the front.
Wow.
On the FDR freeway.
Wow.
Like,
Getting to
like literally going like 65 miles an hour. Imagine if it was on 35 and then there was like a kid with no helmet or anything like on a scooter.
Hey, man.
And just freaking blasting down the highway.
Listen, that's America. I guess that's what people are
That's
coming
when people
over
were like,
here
okay,
for.
maybe this is going a little too far. But then the whole thing with like, they were like, there's no immigration issue. What are you guys talking about? You're like,
well, the
dude,
New York
I'm
thing,
saying...
if we can go to the Eric Adams clip, it's, I think, the second email. But I think Eric, so going back to New York, yeah, you're right. Democrats pretended like immigration wasn't a problem, and they let places like New York just suffer. You know what I mean?
Like everyone was like, dude, how are you telling me this doesn't exist when I'm seeing it? I'm seeing a Venezuelan zipping by on a scooter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the Eric Adams. It's like in the second. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, this
He's
guy.
looking a little zesty in
Well,
this
you don't sound like a Democrat, and you seem to have left the party. No, the party left me, and it left working class people.
You complained about allowing hundreds of thousands of illegals, and this indictment was punishment for complaining.
That is clearly my belief.
I'll just admit it.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty funny when they started trucking illegals here because it's a sanctuary city. Basically committed an act of insurrection against the federal government by ignoring federal law. Isn't there a sense in which New York kind of deserves this?
I don't think they should be rounded up in the middle of the night and said, we're going to move you out.
Well, then why isn't it fair to send all of their illegals here? Because you guys welcome them.
No, we're not welcoming them. We've been very clear. We're not welcoming everyone. We were getting Venezuelan gang leaders that were coming to the city, creating crimes.
And so you tell the
have rights,
president
too.
and his aides this, and what do they say?
Be a good Democrat, Eric.
All right, stop. Look, so Venezuelan gang members.
You're telling me a Venezuelan doesn't deserve a Travis Kelce jersey?
Are you gonna look? Yeah, you look. Are you gonna look a Venezuelan in the camera? I mean, are you gonna look a Venezuelan in the
their
eyes?
brand new iPhone cameras? They're Biden iPhones.
Yeah, Biden. Yeah, we had Obama phones and then Biden. They did
Biden iPhones.
They gave a lot of. They gave them hotels and Eric Adams spoke up about this.
Dude,
And
okay, the hotel shit was out of control, and I'll tell you why. You could not, like, I had family members that would come and visit. They're like, dude, every hotel price is like $700. Like, I'm talking about like a Marriott. And you're like, what do you mean? And you look up and you realize because of the migrant issue, all the hotels were like at overcapacity. So the only way you could get a hotel is like you were paying double what a hotel price would cost. So now that's killing like tourist dollars.
Yeah.
Also, when tourists get there, dude, you would walk down Times Square and there would be entire blocks where like these migrants are just hanging out, and not only
I know.
they're not just hanging out.
They're not
like,
just hanging out. Yeah.
No, dude. They're like
surviving.
catcalling like moms with their kids and
There
shit.
are,
You know what I mean?
yo,
Like,
listen, say what you will about like I think of myself as a liberal guy, but walking down Times Square and seeing several toddlers just crawling on the bare cement.
oh yeah.
Is like, oh, this probably isn't good. And so even as somebody who's has sympathy for someone who comes over in this country in search of a better life, it's still kind of like, well, where are you going to put them? Where are the resources? So it's like for the Biden administration, again, to say, hey, come on over here. We're a sanctuary city. And then Eric is like, can I have some money? Can I have some help? Then Biden said, shut up, be a good Democrat. That is exactly why I think Democrats lost to Trump twice. It's like, how do you lose to Trump twice? You know what I mean? And it's
they're possibly going to lose a third time too.
Yeah,
which would be super embarrassing.
I think so. Yeah,
also,
we'll
too,
see.
like nobody talks about like that this is a good plan. Like, here's the thing: if you're the president of Venezuela, instead of building a better country so that your poorest people can still have a good quality of life, it doesn't incentivize you to create a better life because you just know that they're going to flee the country.
Yeah.
So the country stays only like serving the super rich. The poorest of the poor are just being sucked out of your country. You don't have to take care of it. You know what I mean? It's like you basically have like the U.S. as like a siphon. So like if you're one of those like blue-haired Lena Dunham women, what you want is for them to stay in Venezuela and actually give them some resources to where they don't fucking have to leave.
Yeah.
Like that's the most important thing. It doesn't create better countries for them. Like,
right. There's other ways we can go about this, and I think the Democratic establishment, they're just not really. They don't seem to actually be interested in solving any problems. They just are like,
who's in the party, dude? Like everyone that I know is like votes blue, like across the board. Meaning they're like, doesn't matter who's running. It's like it's literally like super well educated, like rich white people. That's all I see.
Well, black people, they still have they're losing they're dramatically losing the black vote because Trump increased it. And so should be impossible for how racist he is, but that's how terrible America is for everybody, but specifically black people, because a good amount of black people are just working class, regular people, and they're not having a better life.
Right.
And so even though we keep hearing, oh, Trump is evil, he's racist, he's this, he's that, you're not giving us anything specifically to vote for. And I think Obama served his purpose of pacifying black people and like giving them a superficial change, but not really, increasing the value of our lives. Obama to black people is kind of like weed is to cancer patients. Like he didn't cure anything. He just helped us sleep at night.
Yeah, dude.
So you feel better when you walk in like a bad neighborhood and there's a brand new mural on the liquor store?
Yeah,
like,
I breathe.
Cool.
Well, it was like
he's the great pacifier in chief.
He did try to like. That's the other thing. Like racial guilt does work.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
And he tried to do that.
Hey, white women, fuck me.
Exactly. Feel bad.
Yeah.
That's
feel
another
bad.
thing too. It's like getting a white woman now is not an achievement like it used to be.
It's easy. No,
there's too
it's
much
too
white
much.
guilt. It's so easy. Like I have friends that still gloat. Like I hooked up with a white one. I'm like, dude, you met her at a protest. Like it doesn't count. You know, like.
Yeah. If anything, it's like I'm embarrassed at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. You should be. I am as well.
I do want to shout out, change gears a little bit. Oh, I want to cover one of other Trump's executive orders. He didn't just do the birthright citizenship and stuff. He also signed a bill that makes it legal or illegal for fast food restaurants to give you 2 ketchup packets. Listen, man. I mean, this guy
I'm so down for that, dude.
Let him cook. That's what I say.
Who could be against this?
No, nobody. Yeah. I know. I think we do have a health problem in America. You can see that with the food that we eat. And I want to give a quick shout out to Lizzo. Can we pull up Lizzo? Just Google her.
How's she doing these days?
You know what? This is a good. We got to check in on Lizzo. I say she's doing great because she posted a picture of her weight loss journey, and you know what? I think that just type in there it is.
Is this it?
That's the most recent one. Look at this. Bam. This is where she's at right now. This is before and after.
That's not Lizzo.
That's Lizzo.
That's not her.
Yo, Lizzo.
That's Zion's baby mama. What are you talking about?
No, man. Lizzo is a snack. She's a whole meal at this point, man.
The phone is fucking crazy.
That's still. I don't know. Let's test how black Trey is. Trey, which one are you going for? The left or the right?
What are you talking about? Like the right? Like that's definitely.
Wait, neither of them are white. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I hate black women because but mostly because I hate myself. So
He's going for the left one because she's got blue hair. That's close enough.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
It's
I
true.
feel
There's
like
a blue-haired white woman inside. There's like 30 of them inside the left one.
no, I think Lizzo. I feel actually very strongly about this as a black man because health is a big problem in our community.
Well,
you know
like,
what I mean?
At
Like,
this point, like, do we know? This is obviously Ozempic, right?
I don't care what it is, man. It's something needs to happen.
Like, I don't know. It's like
for sure Ozempic. Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's weight loss is not an achievement anymore. Let's be honest.
No, I think that if you want to
it's a choice
criticize, well, I think it is a choice. Well, I don't know because it's always been a choice. Let's say take Ozempic out of it.
Yeah.
It's still a choice. You know, Ozempic is just a shortcut to get to.
Well, that's what I mean.
What hard work would be.
So, like this whole notion of Lizzo saying "big is beautiful."
No, well, that was
I
false.
can twerk. Right.
That's false. That's what I'm saying.
So now,
I think the main point is we can all agree fat shaming works. Like
100%.
This is, and you know, the next person we need to fat shame is. Did you hear about this Detroit rapper, Demos?
Is that the dude
Demos
who
Dank?
dies like every bar he drops?
No. This is a woman. Close.
Oh, yes.
Close. They're not the fat guy that is also obese, but this is Demos. Let's go to the one before this, the link before this of her. Yeah, so she's in a lawsuit. Just so if you don't know, she's in a lawsuit with Lyft because a guy refused to pick her up.
Yeah, this story.
Yeah, let's.
The story only gets bigger and bigger.
I've been in cars smarter than that, you know.
Deja Blanding tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
Yeah.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires. You know, like.
The driver said his tires could not handle the weight.
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
My God,
He apologized, canceled the
All right,
ride,
okay.
and left her
All
there.
right.
Dude, here's the thing. Like, you know someone's big when you literally start thinking of, like, when's the last time you got a rotation done?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't got enough tread.
He was
there.
protected. Yeah, in his defense, he was protecting the integrity of his tires. Like,
I mean-
that guy. I mean, so you can't blame him, but she
also,
kind
it's
of.
like, why is she so surprised? It's like,
I know,
You
yeah,
know
the-
how big you are.
Yeah.
Well, this is going back to the fat shaming. This is why it's so unhealthy to be proud. You have actually fact activists. You know, if we can go to one of those clips, it's titled,
Factivist, if you will.
a factivist. Let's go to the factivist.
Activist. Come on.
We got a factivist. Yeah, let's look at this. This is just some of the what's out there.
Leaning down on whites.
Of course, yeah, you know, but this is like a white fucking thing.
So we've all been taught that what we eat and how much exercise we do determines how thin we are and how healthy we are, right? Wrong. Whenever we weigh ourselves and the number on the scale has gone up, we're like, it's because I'm not eating right or exercising enough. But here's the thing. What we eat and how much we exercise really isn't that
Looks like a young
important
Eugene
to
Levy.
our
There you
health.
go. Yeah. There you go. So
says the
After
evidence.
eyebrow surgery?
What evidence
After-
says that
this is-
exactly?
this is,
it would be nice if you included that
yeah,
in
you
your
can stop
video
it.
because
you can stop it. Yeah. Like that's so that is.
That's a nice screensaver.
Yeah, it is. That's who we're dealing with.
But that's what I mean. It's like, this is the side where, again, they tell you there's not an issue, but everyone else sees the issue. It goes back
Right.
to like, there's no migrant issue. And then there is like, no, you're not fat because you eat McDonald's 6-7 times a week.
No, that
you're
has
fat
nothing-
because,
yeah.
you know, it's
Racism.
Exactly.
Because of billionaires.
Yeah.
You're fat because of Elon
classes.
Musk. Exact classism. Right. That's why you're fat, man. And well, here's the problem is that there is a classism discussion in why cheap food is so bad for you. and why there's a McDonald's and a terrible liquor store in every corner of Detroit, and why food banks are a thing where it's hard to really get a hold of good food. You got to pass 15 KFCs to get to a Whole Foods.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it always boils down to a choice.
It's choice.
Right? And
yeah.
dude, I mean,
but we can help people make.
You're a comic, like
right.
We've been broke as fuck.
Yeah.
And even then, you still can decide. You're like, oh man, I can gain as much weight as I need to, or not. It's like,
yeah.
I don't think money is the issue. I think it just boils down to choice and convenience.
You know, it sucks. I have a coworker who he's calling out all the time because of his gout.
Yeah.
And like he's fat, so I know he's not helping the situation. I just know it. You know what I mean? It
Dude,
fucking sucks, dude. It really sucks.
And this is an argument against free healthcare. It's like, people are arguing, why do I pay for
100%.
you to make terrible decisions?
Yeah.
And I think that's just, I mean, hey man, you have to pick a world to live in. So I think it's a give and take.
You can't have free healthcare and a dollar menu at McDonald's. Like, you can't have both of those things.
Or make the dollar menu cheaper. So if something is on the dollar menu, maybe like fresh fruit and stuff that's actually, or let's say, Bobby, I actually agree with RFK's Jr.'s take on fast food, which is like, if we can't eliminate it, let's cook it the same way Europeans cook it. There's so much shit, artificial things in our foods. So it's like we can help people have healthier options and make better choices, but it comes down to choice. You're right. When it comes to being fat, it's a lot like slavery. It's a choice.
It is.
Yeah, you're
100%.
choosing to be fat. So Dank, I gotta get back to her, this queen, because she went on the Breakfast Club. Let's pull up her. And so she went on the Breakfast Club and she tried
she thought
to.
It was, yeah.
Well, she was trying to.
She's upset it wasn't a Continental.
she heard breakfast and said, "Yeah, I'm in." She's like, "No, it's an interview. It's not." And she said, "She's like, what are we having?" No, she showed up to this interview and she did what she does to most toilets: more damage than good.
Driver, you ordered a lift, and you could tell.
Well, I ain't want to go there. I just wanted to ask you who you always say to explain for the people who don't know who Big Dank is.
No, but people will have to connect.
Oh, let's go back to the beginning.
Go to the very beginning.
Go to the very beginning. Yeah.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Wake that big
Peace,
ass.
Big Dank. How you?
Big Dank. They're so childish.
What's going on? Nice to meet you.
Hi. So childish.
How are you? Peace, King. How you, brother? You good? Nice to meet you, King.
Good Lord.
Yep.
That thing just disappeared.
What you want? What you need?
A bigger chair or something.
We're gonna need a bigger chair.
The two man.
That's what I'm talking about. Good. This is accommodation.
Accommodation.
Oh my God, we should not be accommodating.
Look at
this.
Charlemagne's face.
Yeah, no, his face. All right, so stop it. So
everybody,
that is
it's
so we can pause it right there.
Accommodation.
We'll get back to it, but accommodation, that's a part of the problem. You're right. So I have sympathy for people. I grew up in a poor neighborhood, so I understand how terrible food is easy, but at the same time, we should not be accommodating this and celebrating this foolishness. Again, the most people don't know this. Black people, the leading cause of death for black people in America, it's not getting shot by the police, it's heart disease. So if Black Lives Matter really cared about black people, they would riot McDonald's. Like, you know what I mean? They would be outside of Taco Bell. Or
maybe more riots, because they're at least getting out and running and exercising.
Actually, yeah, we need more.
Yeah, when you raid a Foot Locker, that's a lot. That's a good
exercise. So get out. So
they're usually moving pretty casually when they're doing it.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, but at least they're moving. They're getting out there.
Put some obstacles in the Foot
What's her
Locker.
name again? Big Dank.
Big Dank. Dank Demos. Yeah. I mean, we have to.
Do we need the big there?
I think they were just being a little silly. I think her name is just Dank. But let's keep going on because
Envy, just hilarious. Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren Rosa hanging out with us as well. We got a special guest in the building.
Who we got?
We have Big Dank. Dank DeMoss. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you, Big Dank? How you feeling today?
Glad she got her nails done.
Good.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
When we first heard about your story, there was a lot of jokes made. Everybody made jokes, including us. But when I heard you was a rapper, I
just owned up to it.
Why not have her up here and have a conversation? See if this could, I don't know, help something. Right? Make the most of the moment.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Thank you.
All right, so yeah, let's. So I feel like
big personality.
Yeah,
as well.
what a bright.
Yeah, no, she
seems.
seems.
I thought they were supposed to be jolly.
In her defense, she seems like a sweet person. By that I mean her blood type.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is she actually angry or is she just hungry? Is she getting the emotions confused?
Yeah, no, this is sad because there's another thing. I don't know if we have it, but she's talking about. There's another. I think a link I might have sent you to of her, or maybe another timestamp of her talking about like fat people. She won't even say.
Oh yeah.
Like the word fat. You
Yeah,
feel
but
me?
we have
It's
to
like
connect the dots. Go
How
ahead.
long you been doing music, Dane? How long you been doing music?
I've been doing music for a long time. I took it seriously in 2016.
So yeah, this is just her talking about music. But I feel so the thing of her is she won't even use the F word. She calls it. She'll say fat.
I like how she's like leaning over like the baby dinosaur from the show Dinosaurs.
Yeah, but I think that. So how do you solve this? Is it just straight? She's making bad decisions, or does Bobby have a point?
At this point, it's like.
Well,
I also don't think she's really upset. I think she's just getting attention. I don't believe her.
Well, but that's the thing is like the lawsuit. If you go back to the first clip of the lawsuit and hear, let's listen to more about this lawsuit and what she's really.
Rapper says she's pretty tough. Dank DeMoss, as she's known at the mic, is crushed by the whole situation.
It really hurt my feelings.
It looks like a lift might be hurting pretty soon, too.
I knew it was illegal, and I knew that it was wrong.
Her attorneys, John Marco and Zach Runyon, say weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan by law.
It would be no different than a driver pulling up and saying, I don't want to have black people in my car. Or I don't want to have...
Jesus Christ, that's your defense? Oh my God, this guy sucks.
Wait a minute, hold on, pause.
Lawsuit is filed since she
Okay, so
posted.
that's it. So that's there it is, man. You pulled up, you see a black person, you're like, not today, nigga.
Yeah, you're like, my tires can't handle.
My tires can't handle your blackness.
It's like it's not that he was discriminating against a black person. It was an entire black neighborhood's worth of people.
Yeah,
And that's
and well,
yeah.
she represented.
She was the hood. She's like, I bring the hood with me, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's actually she's not 3/5 of a person. She's 5/3 of a person. She's like literally. But I don't know, man. I feel like it's sad, man. We definitely have to address that, man, as a black community. But I think that is one of the things that Democrats. Yeah, it's going back to the losing issue, right? It's like they act like this isn't a problem. Your diet. They act like immigration isn't a problem.
Well, you're not living in reality. Like, if you're saying like that woman deserves to pay the same price to board an airplane as I do, like,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's what I mean. It's like we're not living in reality. There's no gender. There's no weight law. There's no such thing as being overweight. There's no such thing as having too many immigrants. Like, it's like, dude, just keep doing that, dude. You're gonna keep losing elections. You're gonna keep having more Latin people vote red. You're gonna have more black people vote red. It's like they've lost the plot.
They have, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think and so another thing that Trump is doing is he's letting Elon loose, and with Doge, and they're really, I guess, trying to clean up the government, but people are mad at that. I think that the idea of having a more efficient government makes sense to me, but there is, however, I do see a problem with a unaffected billionaire or unelected billionaire kind of running the government. I mean, weren't we just mad at that? Like, going back to Biden, Bill Gates. If Biden did an interview with Bill Gates the way that Trump did an interview with Elon, everyone would be justifiably upset, right? Like, this combination and cooperation, when Twitter was suppressing the Hunter Biden stuff, we rightfully called it out. But now Twitter is just kind of, the guy bought Twitter is now using it to promote an administration. Now, just because you happen to agree with it, wait, wasn't that just wrong?
Well, I mean, I feel like we've had that this whole time, right? Like, social media aligning with government. That's why, like, you had like Mark Zuckerberg coming out saying that, he's like, I had to comply with the FBI demands. Like,
right.
He said that on Rogan.
But he just picks us out. Yeah, so this is more billionaires just going from administration to administration.
Yeah, I think
for
they
sure.
know. They're like, if I want my business to continue, I'm gonna play ball.
But also with the thing of social media, there is a problem with censorship, right? Like you can go. Let's go to the last clip. UK. There's something happening. You hear about this? Where in the UK government, they are actually arresting people for
like a Facebook post.
Yeah, just stuff that they posted, and it's in one of the emails. Just says UK clip, but yeah, it's like they're arresting people for stuff that they posted, and a lot of people are worried that like this is why Elon says that he bought Twitter, because he's like, we have to protect America from sliding into, just straight communism. Like when you can't speak or don't have freedom of speech, then it is
like we could all be arrested for making fun of the Big Dank.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like that's the government. That's what Kamala wanted. If Kamala had won, let's watch this.
We do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests and so forth.
This is in relation to some comments that you made on a Facebook page.
You were witness to saying, obviously, people...
Did you like that status?
A woman has been arrested by Cheshire Police in relation to inaccurate information on social media.
Because someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media post. That's why you've been arrested.
In Russia last year, 400 people were arrested for things that they said on social media.
So that's great. All right, so now we are definitely against that. That's the thing. You cannot arrest people for their status, right?
I'd be serving a life sentence.
Yeah, as comedians, we should be 1,000% against this.
That sucks to be a cop too, and you're like, I have to arrest people for this shit?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, did you see that woman cop? Her hands were in her pockets. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
it sucks. Yeah. No, these people don't want to do that.
Can't I just be shooting black? Like, why do I have to?
Yeah.
Be arresting.
Also, just reminded too, just watching that clip, how ugly English people are.
Yeah,
They're so unattractive.
It's definitely
as ugly as they sound.
I know. I really would be arrested immediately. Like, just landed at London Heathrow. Everyone's fucking ugly.
No, I think that we shouldn't. It's crazy what's going on over there, and I think we got to keep an eye on it. I will admit, however, there is one group of people that should be arrested for Instagram posts, and it's the kind of people who declare that they're done with social media.
Oh yeah.
I think if you post a Facebook status saying I'm done, you should go straight to jail.
Yeah, no parole, nothing. Just
straight to Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Oh, dude, thank you, man. I had a great time, dude.
We gotta have you back, man, because this is what this podcast is about, getting to the core of everything and the truth. And listen, man. I say let him cook. Let Trump cook. If you're in here illegally, I hope you stay. I hope you're around to come back.
I'll be here.
Okay,
I'll find a way around it.
Good. Thank you. Tell people where they can find you.
You guys can find me on socials. It's at BTD Jokes, so it's Brian Torresdey, and yeah, I post frequently on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So
perfect.
Just go ahead and follow, guys.
Thanks, man. And if you like it, like and subscribe, but only if you're a true patriot.
Let's go.